everyone, my name is Hiben Happy. Welcome to this advanced performance of Photoshop. There's gonna be a little bit cool than the basic, so it's gonna be the same process, nothing crazy. We have first to unlock the layer and pick the quick selection tool, and we're gonna select all the ground. The only difference is gonna be I use another version than this one, and this one at least is in English, so it's at least more cool. It contributes to duplicate the layer, so you can remove the sky, go to take the sky, unlock the sky, and put it just on the top, just like this, and drag it out just like this. Try to make some adjustment to make it a little more cool. And now we have to make a color balance to our ground, so we have to clip it on the ground so we can affect only the ground, not the entire image, just the ground. Okay, so to have a good selection you have to pick the paint tool. The paint tool gives you at least more precision, it's more precise. So you can hit the slider to slide up and down, right to the left. So you click to make an anchor point, you click without releasing, you drag it out. So to cut this anchor point you have to make it out to right click, and we're gonna select all the sky. You can create the path on all the sky. Okay, after making all the path around, we're gonna now close the path. After closing the path, we have also to select this part right here. It also needs to be cut, so we're gonna make quick things. Just like that. Okay, so you have just to pick those two selection tool. You hold shift, you right click on the first path so you can add a selection. After hitting selection, take the paint tool, make as a selection. So you make a selection, you can pick the quick selection tool. So we have now to soft the edges. You can play with the slider right there, and we're gonna choose the output. The output selection, we're gonna make new and layer mask, so it create automatically a mask for our subjects, and we're gonna drag it all the way here. You hit Ctrl D to make it transform, so we're gonna blast this guy out just like that. So what we have now to apply the mask on the image, so it's become just one layer, because we have to add an additional mask where we can start the painting just to blend this guy. As you can see, is a bit different with the other version, and because of brushes, we don't have the same brush done in the basic one. That's what we're gonna use, just the normal brush, the hard brush. That's the only one we're gonna use. It's gonna be a bit tricky, gonna take a little bit of time, but the result will be the same. So just paint like this. Okay guys, now after painting we have to hit the color balance to make it bit balance to match the soldier with the image. We have to make it play with the slider. We're gonna add a level to make him a bit darker, to turn the dark part really dark, and we're gonna add an exposure to it. We're gonna clip it on the side. We're gonna drag that up to make the exposure. So hit Control high to invert the mask, so now the mask is inverted. We have now to paint on it with a white foreground color to reveal the black area when we will want those black area to be. So first, now we have now to paint on the level, because some part need to be brighter. Those part we need brighter. Now on those part we're gonna add on highlight, and we're gonna play with that. Now we paint on the exposure to make him a bit darker, just like this. Now it looks a bit perfect. Now it looks cool at this way. Now it's time to play with the highlights. For the highlight, it's gonna be the same process as the basic one. We have just to slide the saturation, the lightness a tiny bit up. We're gonna choose the color, and we're gonna hit the blend option. That is the difference with the basic one. On the basic one we didn't use it at all, but here it's make a sound more bit professional because it blended less. The color really cool when we invert it. So now we have just to paint on the bright area just to make some highlights, because highlights work like normal light. So we're gonna just make some coolish highlights on the edges, make the brush a little smaller, so we can now start painting only on the edges. This technique with the highlight, you just have to paint on where the light's coming from, right? It looks more natural, and it looks really cool when you paint in Atlas quickly, and to make it Atlas stronger, we're gonna just decrease the opacity. So you have to press X to switch between the foreground. Okay, so you can erase the unnecessary area just like this, and there you go. It's a bit cooler. Just try to drag with the opacity to have smooth things, just like that, just around the edge, just like that, and there you go. Okay, cool. So now this technique, we have just to add another hue and saturation. We hit colorize. At this time we will not gonna make the saturation at 100%. We're gonna just it not just like this. We're not gonna be too hard, just to add on this extra light coming from the source light. Invert the mask so we can now start painting softly. We're gonna add on a level to the ground to make it look a bit darker, because we are at 9. We can say that we are at 9 to make it a bit darker. Now we're gonna add a glow to all the image to make the glow coming from the source light. We're gonna make this blended. We're gonna now invert the mask so we can now decrease the opacity. And we're gonna make the brush really big, just like this. Has the same thing we use in the basic one. We need now to make the lights, because the lights must go on the floor to make it look at least really realistic. So we have to make it linear light, and thus this linear light we're gonna add a blending option. So on the blending you're gonna hit the slider, you're gonna play with those slider to make them look realistic, just like this. Hit OK, invert the mask, and now start painting on the ground just like this to make the light coming from there to there, just like this. It's kind of cool. I think it's cool. So now we need to play with the highlights on the ground, because as the lights coming from this side, those parts need to have some highlight. That's the difference with the basic and the advanced. So for the advanced you have to take at least much time to figure out about all the details, and the details makes our artwork looks a bit more professional and cool to be watched. I think this one I'm satisfied. Now I need to paint the highlight on the ground. I need to make my brush a little bit smaller. Okay, just like this. I will increase the opacity and now I'll start painting. We're gonna add on the extra light, the extra blue light on the ground to make it seem a bit more natural, cause the light is blue and the extra light must also be blue. That's why we're gonna use this hue saturation again on the ground. Now it's time to add on our lens flare. We need to place it correctly. We gonna place it just above, and we're gonna make a clipping the mask because just tweaking a bit. Okay, just like this. We're gonna place the picture right there. Okay. Now it looks really cool. We're gonna make just like this. Okay, it's cool. So we're gonna make just like this. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and much things cool are coming up, and don't worry, it's gonna be really funny to make some stuff like this, and the challenge is gonna be also at school, and it's gonna be a theme of this guy. Y'all have not still guessed who it is, so let me know in the comment, and I hope you guys, I will see you in my next one.